Hey G-Fans, Gojifan93 here, and welcome back to day 11 of the Godzilla-thon 2014. We are now going to take a look at Godzilla vs. Hedorah, also known as Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, 1971, I believe. Okay, and also if you notice, I did actually, for the future reviews, I do want to actually put some figures here just to show, like, I don't know, kind of have a theme with the film. Sorry I forgot the name of the guy who suggested doing this, but you know who you are, so thanks for that idea. Alright, so Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Probably one of the strangest Godzilla films. And surprisingly, it's actually one of... It's sort of my favorite. Like, it's not the best, but I don't know, I kind of like it in a little way. I don't really know why. When I rewatched it, when I was little I loved it, but when I rewatched it, at my age now, I kind of, I was a little bit like, okay, it's not as good as I remember it to be, but I still kind of enjoy it. Maybe just because it has a way darker tone than Godzilla Revenge. I mean, this is like a complete opposite of Godzilla Revenge. But anyway, so yeah, the story is basically just the smog monster, Hedorah. He comes from outer space, lands into this polluted ocean, and it's gross when they do this opening scene. They show all this pollution, all these cans, and just throwing out stuff in the water. It is disgusting looking. But it was a real issue back in the day, and it still is an issue actually nowadays. So this movie actually is still kind of relevant with the whole pollution thing, and that's the whole message of this film. It's basically Godzilla. I think James Rolfe said it best, that Godzilla is an environmentalist in this film. So yeah, that's basically where Godzilla's going now. Not only is he a hero now, but he's an environmentalist, which whatever. Because in all seriousness, it actually affects him too, because he still lives on the planet also. So if this guy is taken over, it's gonna affect Godzilla too. So Godzilla's got to take him out. So the story is basically it's just as simple as that. You have a scientist guy who he's trying to figure out what's going on, and that's basically it. I mean, it's just. It's not a complex story, and they're just trying to figure out how they can take out Hedorah. Now, Hedorah keeps on getting stronger every time he takes pollution. So, like, there's a scene where he starts out as, like, a really small tadpole-looking thing, but the more pollution he gets, the more stronger he gets. Then he turns out, like, the first time he fights Godzilla, he's kind of hunched over, and he's not as big yet. He doesn't look like this. And so after he takes Godzilla out a little bit, then he goes over to these factory, those big not pipes, but those big towers that have smoke coming out of it, and he goes over to it and he just starts, inhaling all the pollution, and then he just, that's how he gets stronger. And there's a really weird scene where Hedorah, like, flies over this construction site, and this one guy, like, falls down. It's really funny. But Hedorah, like, flies over this construction site, and it's complete silence. There's no sound effects whatsoever, and this building's just kind of melting. It's weird. It comes out of nowhere, and there's a lot of WTF moments in this film. I mean, there's like so many. I mean, it's the 70s, so Toho was probably like, whoo, but there's like a dance club scene, and where they play probably a song that I actually really like to hear is Save the Earth. I actually really like that song. When I listened to the Hedorah soundtrack, I loved listening to that. I don't know, I'm a sucker for the old Toho songs. I don't know, I just like their sound. They're just really cool. But so yeah, they're doing this like dance party thing, and this guy, he's like drinking himself to death or whatever, and he looks up, and all of a sudden, like, everyone has fish heads. It's like the weirdest thing. Everyone's wearing fish, like, they're like masks, or they have like fish heads. I don't know. This guy's like hallucinating, and I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to symbolize there. And I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe it's like the pollution that's in the water is killing all the fish, and like that's why they're wearing fish heads. But I really don't know. It makes no sense. But then Hedorah crashes the party, his sludge comes down the stairs, everybody freaks out, And then once it goes back upstairs, the saddest scene happens in this film. There is a poor cat that's on the stairs that is drenched in sludge, and the cat's just on the stairs, just like meow, meow, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what? Poor cat, you know? So that was just a weird scene. Then there's also just like random cuts in the movie that are like these cartoon looking, like, I don't even know what you would say, but they're like these little informational little bits, and they're all done in like a cartoon style, and it's like the weirdest thing. Like Hedorah looks all weird, he's like smoking stuff, and I don't know, it's just really weird. You guys have to watch the movie because it's really hard to describe like what the hell these things are, but it happens like every once in a while in the film. So but then we get to the awesome finale of this movie, and this final battle, this is a long battle. Oh, and you know what? Before I get to the battle, before this, there are these people in the field that were having like a party or whatever, because I guess they knew that they were going to die because Hedorah was like taking over everywhere. But this is the thing, this movie is dark. Now, like, obviously Godzilla in the 70s was aimed towards kids, right? Not this film. Not this film. If I was like 5 years old, maybe even 10 years old watching this film, and I saw when Hedorah flew over people, and all of a sudden he turned them into like skeleton corpses, because like there's a scene where the kid, the main kid actor, I guess, and he's actually not a bad actor. This is actually a once in a blue moon that this kid in this movie, he actually works well, and also his English dub is not that bad neither. So anyways, but this kid walks up to like all these people after Hedorah's flew over them, and they're just like on the ground, skeletons and shattered and everything like that. It's like the most horrendous horror scene ever, and you're just like, oh my god, this isn't a Godzilla movie, but yeah, it's just like really dark stuff. So anyways, now we're on to the battle, and this is probably one of the longest Godzilla battles ever. I mean, I remember when I was recording this battle for my custom Godzilla DVDs, I think this battle, it took up like 20 minutes of footage. And I'm just like, wow, my god. And when I was little, I don't even remember the battle lasting that long. But yeah, this is a long battle. But it's a really cool one too. I mean, Godzilla gets his ass handed to him. I mean, Hedorah's a really tough enemy, because like, I mean, Godzilla can't even do anything to him. Godzilla like punches him. Then he takes his arm out, and like his blood is somewhat acidic, I guess, and like his hand starts to like deform. Godzilla like at the end of the battle, Godzilla's hand is completely like, it's just like a skeleton. You just see his bones, and you're like, oh my god. Godzilla also gets sludge in his eye. I mean, he just gets messed up, and also Hedorah shits on him. So I'm not going to go any further than that. You can just watch the movie and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's really gross because Hedorah like enjoys that. Like during that moment, Hedorah's just laughing, and it's just like, wow, Hedorah, you are a sick monster. But yeah, so then the humans, they figure out that they can use, I don't exactly remember, it was like this electromagnetic field or force that shoots like electricity through these panels, and what they do is that they lure Hedorah in between these two big gigantic panels that then shoot this electro whatever, and it basically dries up Hedorah, because there's really no other way to kill him. But they have to dry him up, and what they do is that the humans, they're like messing up. They're trying to hit the levers, and like the electricity's not coming through. They're not getting enough power. So Godzilla's like grabbing Hedorah, and Godzilla's like, look. I love how Godzilla actually waits for the humans, and then Godzilla's like, what are they doing? Oh god, they're not doing it? All right, fine. And he blows his breath at the wall, and it turns the current on, and that's how it shocks Hedorah. So. And it doesn't affect Godzilla, because I guess it only affects Hedorah because of the organism that he is. I don't know the science of it, okay? You guys can say in the comments, because I know you guys are like really smart with this kind of stuff. But yeah, and like Hedorah's just kind of, he's starting to like, and he's starting to die, and then he just goes on the ground, he starts to flatten out, and just, and so Godzilla starts to punch his corpse and like pulls out stuff. And all of a sudden, like, he walks away, his tail hits a rock, and it flies onto the corpse of Hedorah, and it's like a baby Hedorah flies out, and then here's the part, I know you guys were waiting for this. This is the biggest what the fuck moment in Godzilla history. Hands down. Godzilla literally turns around, puts his arms out like this, and then starts God, I don't even know why they did this. Then Godzilla literally starts lifting himself up with his atomic breath and starts flying backwards, using his atomic breath as a way to fly, and it's just like the funniest scene ever. And he lands on Hedorah, then he brings him back to the panels, and then, you know, electrifies him. And then he does this last, like, little, where he just starts grabbing his, like, corpse, starts, like, throwing all this stuff out. He grabs, like, 2 eggs, he fries them too, and he just completely decimates Hedorah. There's, like, no way for Hedorah to get revived from this. And then the movie just kind of ends, and Godzilla just walks away and then into the ocean. Classic, you know, Showa scene where he's just walking away, and that's pretty much it. So it's definitely way better than Godzilla's Revenge. It's one of my favorite films. I don't know why. Probably just because it's just way darker, but it also has a good message to it. But the way they execute it is just a really weird way. It's just definitely drugs were involved when they were making this film. So yeah, but that's really all I got for you guys for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We got Godzilla versus Gigan, and stay tuned for that. Stay big, G fans.